This movie is on Learning Target 1, Translations. What is a translation? Well, a transformation of a geometric figure is a function or a mapping that results in a change in position, shape, or size of the figure. In a transformation, the original figure we call the pre-image. So ABC here is the pre-image, that's the starting triangle, and the resulting figure we call the image. So we know that this is translating, ABC is translating down into the right to create A prime, B prime, C prime that we call the image. A transformation that preserves distance and angle measures we call rigid motion. In a translation, the orientation of the figure does not change. You'll notice A is above C and B. A prime will also be above C and B. B is located to the right. B prime is located to the right. Let's look at how this works. In example 1, we're going from ABC to A prime, B prime, C prime. We have the pre-image and then we are translating to the image. This notation here with the little apostrophe is called prime. So this is triangle A prime, B prime, C prime is where we end. Let's look at how this is worded. In the statement XY to AB, this is maps to AB, it describes the translation. Create equations for A in terms of X and B in terms of Y. What this means is, what are we doing to X to get to A? What are we doing to Y to get to B? And so in every ordered pair, if we take A, for example, which is located at -7, 7, and we're translating to A prime, which is located at 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, -2. We're saying, what are we doing to -7 to get to -4? So what we are doing to -7 to get to -4 is we are adding 3. Now, -7 and -4 are X values. So from X, what we need to do is add 3 to get to A. So A is equal to X plus 3. Now let's see what we do to Y. What do we do to 7 to get to -2? 7 to get to -2, we need to subtract 9. So we subtract 9. So we put B is, because we have to subtract 9. From Y, we subtract 9 to get to B. So we take Y minus 9, and that gives us B. You can just count it and see that we go to the right 3, which means plus 3. We go down 9, which means minus 9. And so we apply those to the right letters. X, we add 3. Y, we subtract 9. So what I would like you to do is take out your handbook and add what a translation is to your handbook. It's a transformation that maps all points of a figure, called the pre-image, the same distance and the same direction. So we keep the figure shape and size. It is congruent to its original image. And that's what you should add to your handbook, is this top part. Maybe even a picture. Pause the movie to do that and then press play when you are finished. All right, let's go to the next slide. Let's look at this. We've got triangle ABC graphed. We want to translate the graph so that XY maps to X minus 4, Y plus 7. Graph the image and write the coordinates of the image. So we first need to determine what this means. If we are subtracting 4 from the X's, our X movement is left-right. So this tells us we need to move left 4 units. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, left 4 units, but then I also need to translate up and down. And this plus 7 tells me to go up 7 because it's positive. So for each point, what we're going to do is we are going to translate to the left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 7 to get our primes. And A prime is located at -2, 5. I'm going to go from B, I'm going to go left 4, up 7 to get B prime. which is located at 2, 1. And then I'm going left 4, up 7, to get C prime, whoops, which is located at -4, 1. So that's the graph of it and the coordinates for my image. My pre-image is what I started with. All right, I want you to pause the movie, try the next one on your own, and press play when you are finished. Okay, for number 3, let's see how you did. This tells us to go to the left 2 and down 5. So we go left 2, down 5, and we should get these ordered pairs. Let's go to the next slide. Number 4, what is a rule that describes the translation that maps PQRS onto P prime, Q prime, R prime, S prime? So if we look at one of these points, P to P prime, the most common mistake is knowing what direction you're going. This is my pre-image, and this is my image. How I know that is because of the primes. The primes tell me the image, and the previous one is the pre-image. So if I'm going from P to P prime, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the right, down 2. So 8 to the right, and then 2 down. So let this statement XY translate maps to AB, describe the translation. Create equations for A in terms of X and for B in terms of Y that can be used. So let's look at what we're doing here. For any value of X, what I need to do is go to the right 8 units. So for my X to go to A, I need to add 8. So what I'm going to do is take X and add 8 to get to A. For the Y, I need to go down 2 units. So for Y to go to B, I need to subtract 2 because I'm going down 2. So if I took Y, subtracted 2, I would get what B is. And that's how you would write the equations for A in terms of X and for B in terms of Y. Pause the movie, try the next one on your own, and then press play when you are finished. All right, let's see how you did. We graphed the primes, and because that's prime, we know we're going from this pre-image to the image. So we go to the right and down, and we're going to the right 7 and down 1. So we add 7 to the X and subtract 1 to the Y, and that gives us our equations that we need for A in terms of X and B in terms of Y. All right, let's go to the next slide. For this one, we are asked to find the coordinates of the vertices of each figure after the given transformation. So we're going to translate x, y so that we're subtracting 3 to our x's and subtracting 7 to the y's. So if I take A, I'm basically going to take -1 and subtract 3 to give me what my A prime would be, which is -4. I'm going to take the y value and subtract 7, which is going to give me 11. So my A prime is going to be at -4, 11. B prime, I'm going to do the same thing. For my x, I'm going to subtract 3, and that's going to give me 1. For y, I'm going to subtract 7, and that's going to give me -11. For C, to get C prime, I'm going to subtract 3 and get 7. And here I am going to subtract 7 and get -21. So these are the vertices of the image after I've completed the given transformation. Pause the movie, try B on your own, and press play when you are finished. Let's see how you did. We want to add 8 to all the x's and subtract 3 to all the y's, and here are the coordinates we should get. All right, let's go to the next slide. Here, we're going to write the translation rule for the given translation. So we've got ABC, and it translates to these primes. We got to write the rule. So A goes to A prime, which is negative 7, 17. So I'm thinking, what did I do to negative 3 to get to negative 7? Well, I had to subtract 4. What did I do to 7 to get to 17? Well, I had to add 10. So I'm seeing if this is the rule that I'm using for all my ordered pairs. B prime is 0, 2. What did I do to 4 to get 0? Did I subtract 4? Yes. What did I do to negative 8 to get to 2? Did I add 10? Yes. So I'm thinking this is my rule, and you can double check it with C prime. C prime is at 9, 15. Did I subtract 4? And did I add 10? Yes. So XY maps to, what did I do to X? Well, I subtracted 4 from my X's. And what did I do to Y? Well, I added 10. So that's the rule you would get. Pause the movie, try B on your own, and press play when you are finished. Looking at how A mapped to A prime and B to B prime, you can see that you are adding 9 to all your X's and subtracting 11 from all your Y's. And that is the movie for translation.